Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Austin. You also know me as Shexv, and I wanted to talk to you real quick before this episode comes out. So to our listeners, welcome in. To the video watchers, also welcome in. This is just a quick editor's note real fast. Today is November 14th, and I've been gone for a little while. And I do want to add in here real quick before we get into this conversation. In this specific episode, I'm going to put a link in both audio and video description of when this little talk is over, so you guys can skip past it. Or if you're watching the YouTube video, then right somewhere around here on screen is going to be a nice time that tells you when I'm not yapping about where I've been the whole time. So yeah, look at this glorious time that we have right here, and you can skip to that if you'd like to. So there's your opportunity, but we have a couple things that I want to discuss about here real quick, so let's get into it. So I found this funny because I decided a while ago that I needed to make a video during the summer to explain my disappearance in that element. And then I completely proceeded to forget that I made that and left that as is and left that alone and then moved on with my life. So I'm going to add this in here now, which has also changed a little bit since it's been months since I made that initial video. But I wanted to kind of discuss something really quickly in the beginning of this video just for some notice and going forward kind of reference things. So the most prevalent thing is I'm sorry for disappearing. That is all on me. So I primarily take a lot of the responsibility when it comes to editing, and that means when I get really busy, I don't touch it at all, and I go dark completely unless it's something I can slap together in 5 minutes. But anything that requires a lot of time takes a lot of processing time, a lot of editing time, a lot of walkthroughs, because I have to go and bleep out swear words and cut annoying things or trim whatever doesn't fit, which usually is not much. It's pretty unfiltered as far as like time fillers in terms of our podcast, which is going to change going forward, and I'll touch that here in a quick second. But I kind of disappeared, and hi guys, I'm still alive. So the kind of prevalent question is, where have I been? Some of you may ask that. Probably a lot of you aren't asking where that is. But to make a long story short, a lot has changed within these last couple months. There was actually a fun situation that kind of delayed this episode from coming out a little bit earlier, is because of Kieran's audio failure. So I put this on the Instagram and gave a poll for you guys to see if you really want this episode or not, because long story short, Apple. That's really all you need to know. If you want to know more, good old Intel Mac from 2017 decided, I'm going to fail the charging port, and this was just at that time where the Mac Air did not have a USB-C power pass-through, so it's only MagSafe. So, long story short, his audio is trapped on his Mac, and the Mac is basically bricked, unless he sent it in to get it fixed for like $200 and $250, which is just not worth it at this point. So his audio is lost to the aether, so the only thing that we're left to resort to is my personal audio from this microphone in our setup. And then it also has, I think this camera that I'm recording on right now has a built-in microphone, which I have pre-tuned to the Funny Mic audio. So the audio is like minorly bad. Not terrible. You can still understand it, but it's not great whatsoever. So I may have some fun trying to figure out if I can clean that up whatsoever. If I can't, I apologize. It is what it is. That's what this episode's going to be. So the very noticeable thing is probably the backdrop, where we go from a specific setup in episode 1 to 3 and Debrief 1, if I'm correct, to a different setup for, I think it was episode 4 and Debrief 2, if I'm correct. All different settings, which we had my college dorm setup, or my college apartment setup, and then my home setup, and now we are in college apartment number 2, because I've transferred universities. So I've had a bit of fun. That decision all culminated fall semester last year, and I'm here now, just very busy and still getting settled into everything. During the summer, I kind of disappeared more than I really wanted to because I needed to step away and take a summer class, which I did, and I nailed with flying colors, so I'm happy. And that was a part of the big first video that never got included in Race Debrief too. That was, hey, where have I been? Yeah, no, I forgot to include that. So yeah, I had a summer class that I needed to go and take care of, and now I have actual semester I have to take care of. So that was a whole fun thing. I had to go and work a ton of hours because, money's always tight, and I didn't get much hours during that summer semester because it was a very intensive class. But that is what it is. I passed with flying colors, so I really don't care, honestly. The financials sucks, but that's another story for another time and not something we really discuss on this podcast. I also took on more work hours after I'd finished off. We had to finish up the transferring and moving into my new apartment, transferring all my stuff from my old apartment to my house and then to my new apartment in my new college town. And that was a ton of fun. Not really. Big moving truck to get that all done. Thankfully, I had a couple buddies who were able to help me move into my new apartment, which I'm eternally thankful for. They're great people who you'll start to see featured on my main channel, as well as Kieran was in there too. So good old, co-host of the podcast, since we now live in the same college town. So it is correct, and this is the first video of having an in-person podcast session together. Enjoy that. We're still trying to get everything figured out. I will forewarn you on that. I also took on a bunch of other things that have really started taking a lot of importance in my life during the time I've been away, and this even extends into this semester, where I took a lot of time to start finding my faith in where I believe, where I stand, and everything like that. It's a fun part of life, There's a calling. I need to read what that calling is and study into that, because why not? I put a lot more time into my new racing team. Transfer into my new college, I joined their formula team compared to my last one. So I've been putting a lot of time and hours into that. And speaking on November, I'm 2 months deep in a project right now. So it's a ton of fun. It's really a ton of fun. I need to get that. Honestly, I really need to get that project done within the next week or two, which is a nightmare because there's so much CFD that I have to go through. But that's a story for another time. Maybe we can have an aero talk another day. Yeah, I've had a really intensive schedule this semester. Just trying to get acclimated to the new environment and everything has been, I wouldn't say a bit of a nightmare, but it's definitely new. It's unique. I'm trying to find good study spots and everything and get figured out where I'm comfortable in, and the whole range of 9 yards, just trying to be comfortable with everything. So all the fun stuff, Yeah, and then I haven't even gotten much time to work this semester, honestly. It's been very intensive on classes in the racing team, so I haven't had much time to do really anything. There's also a bit of an interesting thing when it comes to, I got a new laptop, and yes, I record, edit, and do everything off of my laptop because, good old AI data centers are raising prices of RAM and graphics cards to oblivion. So yet another reason to hate AI, but I don't know. I have a build planned, and that's something I'm going to be doing on my main channel when I get the parts and I get the time and I get the money. I will be planning on doing a first time PC builder video on my main YouTube, so hopefully in the near future that happens, so I'm not slamming simulations of 10,000 iterations of different aero components of a race car for 8 hours at a time and just leaving my laptop on overnight to crank that. But that's a complete side point. That's really everything that's been happening with me and why I've been disappearing. So I haven't had any time to touch any form of content whatsoever, besides occasional reels that I already had pre-edited and I was able to just go on and slam them. But even then, I struggle to get highlights done for this podcast just because there's a lot of different things that happen, which I really need to have a notepad when I'm editing. Just note this time frame, this something cool happened. We had one highlight where we had an entire blooper section dedicated to barbecue, Kansas City barbecue, for the last episode. And Jack Stacks from Kansas City commented on that, and that was so funny. It's incredible, honestly. I also love Jack Stacks, so it's very... it was heartwarming. It's nice to see when you really enjoy media like that and you get like recognition from something you enjoy while also having a very out of pocket conversation about something like that. It's beautiful. I love it. So yeah, kind of a big focus as to what I meant to get off during that video that was supposed to go in front of Race Debrief 2 that I'm getting to you guys now in front of Race Debrief 3 Part 1, which that Part 1 kind of signals it. I'm changing the way this podcast is oriented a little bit. So I'm going to start to focus on doing a little bit more short form podcast episodes. And by short form, I mean we're looking at like 30, 45 minute to an hour intervals, hour at most. That's really what I want to stick to. Anything more than that, I don't want to like waste your guys' time. I don't know. I don't want to take up so much time or just have it to an unreasonably long podcast episode to where it's like, I have to listen to 2 hours and 50 minutes of these two morons talk about what they think they know about race cars. That's not what I really want to do. So I'm going to try and keep it to an hour or under, which I think these 2 episodes of Race Debrief 3 are just at or around an hour, which this video is probably going to drag that up a little bit, and I apologize for that. But I'm going to try and go forward and keep it very tight-knit to shorter episodes, so it's easier for you guys, which we have a lot of catching up to do, because Race Debrief 3, I believe, was filmed early September. All I know is the last race on the debrief list was Spa. We just finished Brazil. We're going to Vegas next weekend. So it's been some time. It's been fun, but yeah, we have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to catch up on. So I'm just going to slam out as many short episodes as I can, which short episodes will also help me get out more content, because I'm not sitting there for a 2.5 hour episode, which really takes me like 5-ish, 6-ish hours just to go through slowly, make sure the audio syncs and video syncs, and all the swear words are bleeped out, so I have to go through every second to ensure Kieran didn't say something stupid, because let's be honest, I'm sorry, Kieran, you are primarily the person who is at fault for that. I'm sorry. I do it occasionally too, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go that far. So, but yeah, we're going to start breaking down episodes a ton. I also have a couple different segments planned for this, which may be a collaboration thing with my personal YouTube channel, since that's something I'm just rather interested in discussing. But we have a couple interviews that I'm starting to plan, like getting friends and people around the racing team environments that I've worked with who have had experience within the motorsports industry in one way or another. Like, I think our first one is going to be a gentleman who I had the pleasure of meeting down at my first college, who was on their off-roading team, who has a history of doing like motocross racing for quite some time. Class of a gentleman. We just have to find the time to get everything all worked out, but he is a legend. I love that man to death, and we are going to get something figured out. He has his own YouTube channel, so I will probably also do a collaboration with him in that instance, just so you guys can divert over in his direction. But he's a classy guy. I love the man to death. So we'll have him on a podcast episode soon, and then going forward, I'm hoping we just start to get more collaborations and meet more people and talk more things. Because one thing I want to do is, from like an engineer's perspective, is I want to have a interview with other engineering candidates or higher ups within companies and motorsport organizations that can give insight to future engineers as to what they look for in job positions. So that's something I always question people on. And if I can get to a point where I can start providing this public information for you guys for your benefit, that's an even better kind of thing to have, because who doesn't want more advice on how to be a better candidate coming straight out of college? So that'll be a big focus for me. Other interviews will just talk about other bits and pieces. I'll kind of bring in other people from different experiences and expertise levels all across the world. So look out for that in the future. We need to do our prediction reactions, which will be a fun one. And then also I'm looking at doing more like technical focused videos, which will definitely be a big thing to collaborate with my personal channel on. But I want to dig into like the technical bits of motorsport a bit more. That's something I've kind of been negating on since I've been playing catch up for so long. But one thing I'm really wanting to sit down and discuss is the incoming 2026 regulations, which I'm really looking forward to. And there's always more details coming out on it. So I'm quite excited to discuss with that. Yeah, that's honestly all I really had to talk about now, and a lot of this is going to get cut down because I've already recorded long enough, but it is what it is. So thank you guys so much for listening to me yabber, and hope you guys enjoy this first podcast episode. Just please let me know if there's anything I can change around with the new formatting I'm working on. I think I'm going to try and do some things with like different camera angles, so it's not just one wide, low poly camera angle the entire time. So I'll probably set up some of my DSLR cameras that I have as like a video thing that just take audio. But yeah, thank you guys so very much for listening to me yabber. Enjoy Debrief 3 Part 1. Take it easy, guys. God bless. Welcome to Sector 2. The chaos has been brought to real life now since I have moved cities for new opportunities and schoolings. So yeah, the rumors were correct. We are now in person, and yeah. Yes, so finally, about time, and that also means we won't have any fantastic internet issues to where I keep cutting you off every 5 seconds, and then there's 3-second awkward pauses in between us speaking. So we don't have to deal with that anymore. Thank God. That makes
that was annoying, to say the least.
Yeah, that makes our life a whole lot easier, and I don't have to hate myself for interrupting you on accident because I don't have to account for a 2-second delay phrase. So
yeah, and that also means no more freaking sketchy Discord camera.
Oh, yeah, we're not playing that game anymore, thank God. So, yeah, we are back. We are better than ever, and we are ready to kickstart everything into just the most chaotic phase possible. I'm going to try and start cutting episodes to be a little bit shorter, so expect to see, I think this is Debrief 3, if I'm correct. Expect to see, Debrief 3, Part 1, Part 2, and I'll cut it off in the middle, because we have a lot to catch up on. Today is September 2nd. So our last recording, I believe, was May 23rd or May 21st, if I'm correct. So it's been quite some time. I got stuck in summer school. I passed, so I can celebrate that. I moved. I moved from my old school back to home, where I think episode 4 was recorded in, and then I moved to my apartment here, where we now actually have an in-person podcast session that's kind of sketchily set up, but if it works, it works.
Better than whatever we had beforehand.
Much better than dealing with a lot of the online stuff. So we are here and ready for some fun. So today we're going to go ahead and jump into part 1 of Race Debrief 3. So we have quite a bit to kind of talk about. I'm going to hit a little bit of an off-script one that I didn't watch because we just had a giant review session for everything racing possible to be ready for Debrief because it's been months on months on months on months. But
yeah.
Cadillac won in Brazil and is the first, I believe, American manufacturer in the Hypercar Class Series to win in the Endurance Championship. Yeah. And they won in Brazil. What was it, 6 hours of Brazil?
Yeah, I think so.
That was...
Sao Paulo, something like that.
It was Joda, correct?
Yep, Hertz Team Joda.
Oh, it's incredible.
Love that gold livery.
It's so beautiful.
Perfect.
At least it doesn't have the yellow curse of the typical Cadillac team. At least it doesn't have the yellow curse of the typical Cadillac team. That would, yeah. Yeah. Fair. Fantastic. I love endurance racing, though. It's also nice you can go back and rewatch the highlights or just rewatch an entire VOD whenever you want to. So don't have to deal with any... pay a subscription to watch something back, or if you didn't watch it in person, good luck. Yeah, incredible stuff. So now we'll go to the actual on-topic stuff, where we'll hit off with Monza, which I believe I started touching on a little bit towards the end of either episode 4 or Debrief 2. I don't remember which one it was. We kind of recorded both of those pretty close together. But yeah, Imola happened, and Imola was quite an experience. We had Oscar Piastri take pole, I believe it was. Piastri took pole. And then Max Verstappen just stormed out of second place around the outside on a disgustingly beautiful move and stormed to an absolute dominant performance and race pace. There were definitely quite a few bits that came out in terms of content. I think my favorite one that I got to see was, there's a specific page that I follow, and I think it's Max Verstappen Radios, Max Verstappen Communications or something, and it was the safety car window between, or just the communication between GP and Max getting ready for the race restart. And it was okay, Max, safety car will be in this lap. I'll let you know as soon as it's in pit lane. He's in pit lane, and then he's gunning it out of the second to last corner through that double left-hander and absolutely dump Piastri a country mile behind. I love that video. Oh, man. It was definitely an experience to watch. I think quite a few teams brought some upgrades to that. Aston Martin brought a whole new package there, which I don't think worked that well. I don't remember Imola as well. But Hajar also scored some pretty decent points and came in with more overall points than both previous second-seat Red Bull drivers. That's definitely a trend that's going to be continued throughout the later of this episode. But that was definitely, at least from my enjoyer of Verstappen standpoint, the nice poster behind and everything, like, that was definitely something I did not expect after how dominant the McLarens have been lately.
Yeah, Hajar's been on it this season.
Oh, yeah. No, you're all good. He has been nailing it in every sense of the word. I mean, I'm not going to lie. By the end of this episode, I will say it more than enough, but I have to eat my words on what I did for predictions. And when it comes time to review said predictions, I'm getting cooked.
Oh, yeah. My predictions are out the window.
I don't think this season has turned out in any way that we expected from either our predictions. I mean, if I had stuck to my gut, I could have been correct, but I decided to just slam my nuts on the table, and it was not anywhere near what I had hoped. So,
Yeah, I mean, the season's been unpredictable so far. It's not in the way that I thought it would be.
Oh yeah, it's definitely been an experience. I expected a little bit more domination. I was not expecting Max to actually, use his genuine driver skill and show up on a couple of these races, but that'll be seen quite a bit more throughout the rest of this episode, is that he will just appear and then just vanish just as quick as money disappears from my account for car parts, and you can say the exact same for that. So, but yeah, that was definitely a race to watch. Tsunoda had a horrifying barrel rolling crash in qualifying. That was something.
That was definitely something. Thank God the freaking tire barrier was there, not just like a concrete wall or something like that.
It was like a way lower speed crash that looked like Zhou Guanyu in Silverstone.
It did look like that, honestly.
It looked very similar, but I'm just glad he's okay and glad he's still carrying on, hoping his results still continue to get better so he doesn't get immediately sacked at the end of the season, but we'll see how, spoiler alert, Mekis runs the team now, so that is something, but yeah. Kimi Antonelli also decided to bring all of his teachers and classmates to the race, so God, I wish I had that kind of money to do stuff for my classmates. But, I mean, that's just the dream, honestly. But, I mean, that just shows kind of what class Kimi is. Kimi's a great guy is what it seems like. So.
Yeah, I wish I had at least a classmate that, did stuff like that.
Yeah, it's definitely something. Fun little sidetrack, actually, which is completely, kind of related to motorsport, kind of not. We actually have a guy who's been speaking with our chief engineers on a racing team who has been wanting to come in and join the team. And for anyone who's been in a Formula student environment, or at least the ones that I've been in, if you participate on the team, you're going to have a higher chance to go and drive the car. Test it, take it to competition, actually drive it. The experience that a lot of us want to do, some of us don't want to, and that's okay. I was being told by my aero lead that we've had a kid reaching out to our team who's saying, I'm transferring over to this semester, and apparently he is in state. He transferred in this semester, apparently, and he has been talking to our guy about how he's driven a Formula 4 car, and he wants to drive our car. And he's been saying this apparently for the past year, but has never shown up.
He's never shown up.
Never shown up. Only wants to drive the car. So already set up for failure as is. Yeah. But then the funniest thing about that is some of our guys went and stalked his Instagram. No pictures of him in a Formula 4 car. Nothing.
You gotta have proof if you're gonna make claims like that.
No evidence that he's even touched a racing car in general. Apparently, there were no racing pictures at all. No suit, no GT cars, no personal car racing, no drag racing, no F4. So he's just going, yeah, dude, I'm totally a Formula 4 driver. You should let me in on this. And just nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You can't just make empty claims and expect people to, give you the freaking drive. Like, you gotta freaking prove something beforehand.
One, you have to put in the effort. Two, that is some baseless accusations right there. Yeah, bro, I totally been up on that Formula 4 game. You should let me in on the whip real quick. I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
Build the car, and maybe you'll have a chance to freaking drive it.
Bingo. More effort you put in, the more you'll get out, and that goes for the rest of life. That's not just for racing. So
Yeah, not just for racing.
Oh man, but to finish up Imola, who is your driver of the race? Mine's very evident. I'm going to go with Max Verstappen. That was utter class. Who do you think kind of shined above everyone else? Who went unnoticed? Who went noticed and deserved it? Who in that track did fantastic and deserved recognition? Great explanation here.
We're still talking about Imola, right?
Yes.
And freaking Lando won, right? Or did Oscar?
Max. That was where Max went from second and just destroyed everyone.
I'm going to have to say Max.
Yeah.
I mean, in that tractor of a car, beating out both players, yeah.
I mean, I feel like you could say that Sainz could be in the running. I don't know how well he performed in the race, but he did go on provisional pole in quali 2 out of just left field. In a freaking Williams, that is entire focus for this year's team is to work towards next year's car. So not being touched at all, but
yeah. Honestly, either Verstappen or Sainz.
I absolutely agree wholeheartedly there. So, and now we move on to where I technically made a rant video and was going to make a video about how racing's not doing so well. And then I just scrapped it because I sounded like a whiny little bitch, and I'm okay with censoring that out. But, now we move on to the Triple Crown. Monaco, Indy 500, Daytona 500? No, that 24 Hours of Le Mans. That was what that was.
Yeah, I think 24 Hours of Le Mans.
I think it was 24 Hours in Le Mans. That should be the... Yeah, no, that is... Yeah, no, that is the Triple Crown.
Won.
Yeah, Kubica, finally. God, we'll get into that in a sec. I think I have a section for that, and we just... Yeah, I didn't really talk about it at all, but it's there. So, I'm a Monaco lover. That sucked. That race sucked.
Yeah, it was basically a sped-up parade.
78 laps of formation laps.
71 formation laps, something like that. I don't know.
Oh, God. Yeah, no. So, technically, by the book, there is one overtake done on track.
One.
Overtake, which said overtake was Kimi Antonelli putting Gabriel Bortoleto into the barrier, diving it down into the back straight through the Monaco tunnel. Overtake,
yeah. I wouldn't call that an overtake. Rather a Osama bin Kimi.
The Anton Taliban. I don't know. I don't know, man. That was some lesson straight from.
Kimi 9/11.
Basically, yeah. Instead of good Osama bin Russell, that was the Taliban or something like that. I don't know. But that was, if you don't count that, no overtracks on race is absolute. No overtracks on race. I can. Overtrack is when you just hate your life.
Yeah. Okay.
Overtracking
my entire life. So.
Real. I don't know. I think overtracking in realistic terms is something of like you just track something or manage something too much. I don't know. There's a definition out there, and I don't care to look at it. So spoonerisms are fantastic, and I'm fairly certain I can make a highlight out of how many times I decide to have a spoonerism. So that might happen. I kind of want to do that for my own enjoyment, but regardless.
Back to the topic.
Yes, back to topic. Otherwise, there's no overtakes. No overtakes on track. That's and I'm okay with censoring this too in the way I exactly described it on the events catalog. Shit fucking race.
Yep. I mean, race. I mean, it pretty much explains it.
Yeah. I mean, wow, you had a Bruce McLaren tribute one-off livery. Looked great, by the way. I did enjoy that one quite a bit. I will say, I still think the Stealth livery from 2024 is better. I'm going to hold that opinion forever. I love the Stealth livery. The Stealth livery from McLaren, where they ran the all black with the orange accents in, like, what was it, Singapore?
That was...
Singapore and Japan, I think it was. That is one of my favorite liveries that McLaren has done. Absolutely love it.
Personally, both. Both will always top.
That is such a good one. I really wish someone actually did a render for a possible Williams partnership where they did a Golf livery, and it's literally just the 2021 McLaren thrown onto a Williams chassis. It looked great, but I that's hard. I can kind of agree with that. White Red Bull has to be in there too. The white Red Bull's stunning, but bias. So McLaren only, yeah. Golf, Shadow livery, Chrome. Old Vodafone. I'm getting sidetracked, but Alonso's engine decided to leave the chat, a very typical trend for the season so far. Albano decided to start committing devious actions in the middle of the race, playing with thyself and just deciding to create a train of very angry people behind him. With a 30-second gap to the car in front, we saw a very, very fantastic moment of George Russell saying, "Screw it, I don't care. I'll take the penalty. I'm gonna be faster."
Give me the freaking penalty.
And cutting the chicane and just sending it and running away. Very well deserved. That I definitely was marginally upset with Albon, which I think was strategic to give Williams a window to pit signs, but. That's still disgusting. That's beyond disgusting, to my opinion. So,
yeah,
not a great look. And then you had, I think it was Mercedes. I have Mercedes down, but I wanted to say it was actually Ferrari and Hamilton. But there's definitely some people who forgot there was a mandatory two-stop. Maybe it actually was Mercedes. I think Toto Wolff had completely forgotten about it. But mandatory two-stop for the Monaco weekend, and Mercedes and Toto Wolff did not remember that at all.
And I'm not gonna lie, that mandatory two-stop did not do jack.
You had Albon decided to create the train of a century, the conga line of a century, and just negated everything a two-stop would do.
Yeah. Thanks, Albon.
Thanks, Albon. I feel like a better system would be what IndyCar did, and they required a specific amount of stops on each tire compound to where they had like 2 stops mandatory on softs and 2 stops mandatory on hards. That might be better. I'm not sure, because then it's like, oh, hey, congratulations, you're banished to the soft realm. I almost butcher soft, but you're banned to the soft realm. I almost did it again. Soft. That shit's really soft. You're banished to the soft realm, and you have to do 2 stints on softs. Oh no, short stints. Go to the mediums. Oh no, 1 stint there. Oh no, 1 stint on the hards. Run it out. Oh. I don't know. I feel like it'd be a better solution than just like, hey, 2 pit stops, make it work.
Yeah. IndyCar's approach is definitely, I feel like it's better than just throwing in 2 mandatory pit stops like it's going to do anything.
Yeah, well, in all fairness, I mean, IndyCar is the better, actual motorsport to enjoy viewing. It's not an engineering sword fighting competition. It's actual motorsport. Peak.
This guy gets it.
It's peak. Don't get me wrong, I love Formula One, and the posters behind me definitely show that. But on the contrary, it's literally one giant. It's one giant engineering fest. It's like, sure, I mean, hot take, I think WRC's pretty good too. WRC's a pretty good viewer sport, but it's very long. If you can sit down and enjoy a rally stage, then full props to you. It's still great to. WRC's fantastic.
Same could be said about the WBC though.
Bingo. That's the next point. That series is incredible. You have like 3 or 4 different series of cars, all different speeds, fighting it out on one track together. Yeah. That is peak entertainment right there. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's such a great like series to watch while you're just chilling out or whatever. Just to have it in the background while you're doing assignments or whatever.
No, exactly. It's like 6 hours of Brazil was so much fun to watch. When I was setting up the apartment, I put on the 6 hours of Brazil and just enjoyed myself. It's like, it's just a great viewer sport. Those sport where you have like spec series or competitions where things are even out, even like in the World Endurance Championship, you have like the BOPs handed out before each race, so it tries to balance things. Sure, it doesn't work half the time because Ferrari will still run away with things no matter how hard they get nerfed in the BOP. But
maybe it's time to investigate that Ferrari.
They already were doing the fuel sensor tampering in 2019, so who knows? Maybe they're doing some sketchy things in the endurance series.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't.
I mean, well, Italians.
What's that trying to say? They run away from every world war. What do you mean?
Oh my God.
No, it's literally just Italy summed up as, guys, I have a great plan. Italy has left the game. That is how the world wars went for Italy.
I mean, yeah.
Benito Swagolini had no hand in anything like that.
This is slightly off topic, but just the fact that we're getting Ford back in the top class. Oh.
Yes. Oh, man. I think we actually discussed that in our just normal episode. I'm not sure. Ford's doing a lot of stuff. But, dude, the Endurance Championship is going to be so exciting. I have an update, actually, on Lamborghini.
Dude?
Yes. I'll give it away here, but I'm going to give it away in the next episode, too. Lamborghini isn't quitting entirely. They're only taking a year off to focus development on their new Temerario GT3 car. So they're not entirely disappearing out of the Endurance series in the hypercar class. They're just taking a year away to develop the Temerario, which is quite interesting. I love to see that, though.
Yeah.
Because they're actually keeping, what is it, the SC63 is their hypercar? Or am I thinking of the other GT car?
I'm going to Google that.
I don't remember what the name of it is. But yeah, no, they'll disappear from the IMSA class for the 26th season, which they had already disappeared from WEC last year. This year they are not included in there. Same thing Acura's doing, but Acura I don't think is given a hand into the WEC series. They're just staying mostly IMSA, so it is what it is. But did you find that out? Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, no, so glad to see the Lamborghini's actually not fully pulling out of that. They're just kind of doing a small disappearing bit there, but I mean, we're going to probably get something cooler out of it, which 2 other brands have announced they're releasing 2 new GT3 cars, which I will actually hold for the next episode. But yeah, back on topic. V-Carb got a double points finish. That was mind-blowing. Then there was a nice interaction between Hamilton and Verstappen, which I'm fairly certain, angered a couple fan bases on the cesspool that is Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, now known as X, that I refuse to call it that, but that's what it is. So Hamilton had impeded Verstappen on one of his qualifying laps, and Verstappen was angry. Hamilton, was in the wrong. They got summoned to the stewards. Hamilton and Verstappen met up after that lap in the pit lane, talk things out, and I think there was an exact quote where Max said he blames Ferrari and not blaming Lewis. He understands that Lewis wasn't in the wrong there. And I think, no, that was for Hungary. I'm getting ahead of myself. But Max basically spoke in favor of Hamilton, saying it is not his fault. He shouldn't be penalized for this. This is a team issue. This isn't Hamilton. Which it's nice to see from like a person who enjoys motorsport perspective, of seeing 2 people who were in a very intense relationship and whose fan bases were at each other's throats trying to separate themselves as much as they could, be as cordial as they are today. And we see it get repaid in Hungary too. Stay tuned for that bit. Yeah, it's very nice to see. And then there was just there was just chaos in between. I think the first bit of chaos was actually a part of Formula One, but I noticed this. Someone pointed this out on Instagram on a highlight. Someone at Rascas threw a banana peel at Lando mid-race, lap 23. If you watch Lando's T-cam at Rascas as he's about to do the final turn onto the large pit straight, yeah, someone just chucks a banana at him. You just see it fly across the screen. It's like, okay, I didn't know someone's trying some real Mario Kart strategies in a Formula One race.
Broke through freaking Charles Leclerc. Not Max Verstappen. Lando Norris. I'm struggling over here.
Felt that.
Broke through Charles McStappen. What? Charles McStappen.
Charles, what are you trying to say? I am confusion.
Charles McStappen, yes.
The very famous Formula One driver, Charles McStappen.
It's Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, and Lightning McQueen, all in one person.
Fair, fair. But
Charles McStappen,
Charles McStappen,
prodigy.
Charles McStappen, the prodigy. What the fuck? Charles McStappen. That just sounds like the most cursed AI generated Blender photo that someone would be. That was almost like the Grill the Grid thing they did where they mixed up three people's faces. It's just like Charles McStappen. Why is there a red car in between them? What is this? Oh man. But there are also just two other chaotic events. One of them is in the Porsche Cup where something happened. There's an oil spill, and it literally just looks like there was a giant blood stain all up the first casino straight. It looks super weird, but it is what it is. Then there was also the massive F2 crash in the feature race, which that was the definition of, oh no, oh my heavens, I have crashed, and then just everyone just crashes along into them. I think only 6 cars were unscathed during that, or hadn't basically made contact with someone else. That was peak skill moment on that. What are you Chat GPTing?
Charles McStappen, baby.
If you get something really cursed out of that, you're gonna have to give that to me so I can actually put that in the video. But yeah, Monaco was something. Garbage race. Driver of the race. No one. Everyone sucked. No one deserved that.
My driver of the race was Alex Albon.
I personally, based on experience, believe Alex Albon should have gotten shot into the stratosphere after all of that.
Or Kimi Antonelli.
George Russell. Betraying the rules just to go actually get freed up from that mosh pit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly, if I was a driver, I'd probably do the same thing.
I would do the same thing. I no regrets at all. That was garbage. Yeah. It was like a reward. But yeah, onto the actually good portion of the Triple Crown, aside from the 24 hours of Lemans. We had the Indy 500, which was insane from top to bottom. First sold-out crowd since the 100th running of the Indy 500, which I believe was a 2015-2016 race. Newgarden was having kind of a fun time. Just, okay, that's blurst.
That is cursed.
That is blurst.
What the? Okay.
You're going to have to send me that so I can just casually throw that in as to what you generated, the monstrosity it generated. But, I don't know if I got to include this in the last bit, but during qualifying, after the whole Penske attenuator thing, because that's what popped off here after the first round of the Fast 12, Joseph Newgarden decided to go on a little jog because he had nothing to do because he wasn't allowed to compete in any of the qualifying sessions anymore. So he decided to go for a jog on the infield, and the cameras caught him and just kept on him. He then pulled out his phone as his friends were texting him that he was on TV just having a nice jog. He started to just mess around, do stupid signs and stuff like that, and he tried to like find the camera and everything. It was just like waving, and then what was it? He made a response to something, but he was just having the time of his life, going for a nice jog while his team was getting scrutinized for breaking a rule. So he was having a grand old time, but definitely a entertaining bit to watch. And then during the race was eventful, from Scott McLaughlin binning it on lap 1 because it had just rained. Into the wall, out. That was very heartbreaking for Scotty Mack and the Thirsty Threes. And Kyle Larson caught on TCam laughing at him. Oh, just you wait, buddy boy. There was so much to happen, from pit lane crashes, pit lane spins, fire in the pit lane, chaos, utter chaos. Joseph Newgarden was seeming to have like a Hamilton in Brazil 2021 kind of moment where he went from back of the pack to near the front, and then I think he got booted out by a crash, engine failure, or pit lane failure. So he's having such a positive result where I was genuinely concerned that he was going to go and win the 500 because I didn't want him to win again after the traumatic experience from last year. I mean, I would have been okay with it over Pelot, but like still, I was like, oh, he's really doing this. Oh God. Okay, he's coming. Oh Lord, he coming. Oh Lord, he coming. Oh Lord, he coming. That was eventful. And then VK spun in the pit lane. Schwartzman crashed in the pit lane and ran into his own pit crew, and I think then had to DNF after being the first rookie since 1985 to be on pole for the Indy 500, and a team first year in the sport pole in the Indy 500. Where did that come from? Wiener race. Wienermobile race. Dude, that was actually incredible. That was good racing. It was actually really good racing, unironically. It was better than Monaco.
I'm not gonna freaking argue with that.
It was actually good. I think they were literally one of the wieners. I think it was New York or Chicago. It was one of those two. Whatever city is renowned for its glizzies. Whatever good city. It was probably Chicago, but one of them made like a last second pass on the finish line to win it. It was like a nose distance. It was a half a glizzy.
One would say a wiener head.
But yeah. Ha 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 ha. Funny. But yeah, the glizzy race was actually really good. I'm not even gonna lie. That was something. Yeah, Rossi caught on fire in the pit lane. That was very unfortunate. He was very upset, and I would honestly understand because he was making some pretty good progress. Glad the big man, big Jack man, big pit guy was okay after getting caught on fire. Glad he's all good, thank God. And yeah, Marco Andretti out turn 1 after scraping into actually racing in the 500. Rather disappointing, but with Andretti, there's no such thing as, not being disappointed at one point or another during a race weekend. So, yeah, that's something. It then just went further into the race. Schwartzman DNF'd by hitting his pit wall and his crew. The Wiener race, it just kept getting crazier. There was more wet weather all over the place. Everything got delayed again. I think it was like the second or third Indy 500 to get delayed due to rain. So, traditions. And then, kind of like I said earlier, karma has came back in the form of suck it. And that goes to Kyle Larson, who, I've spoken my displeasure with before, Mr. whatever his dumbass podcast is, within 4 races, Kyle Larson's going to be up to spec with Verstappen. Then tell me why this human iteration of a skill issue decides to downshift so far mid-corner that it just kicks the rear end and kills him in the race, in the biggest race. And then I think he went around to the Coca-Cola 600 immediately after and then also ate it there. I wanted to say he crashed out. He did the same thing. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Larson seems like a cool dude, aside from, you know, the experience on stream with iRacing and New Garden catching that on live stream. Aside from that, I'm never going to let that down. I don't think anyone's ever going to let him down on that. But, like, like, you know, Mr. can beat Max Verstappen in his own car, in his own game in 4 races. Yeah, basically. Can't even finish a 500 or a Coca-Cola 600. Can't even finish an Indy 500, where it's functionally the same thing with faster speeds and more aerodynamics, and decide to downshift farther than you should in said cars, kill yourself, kill Kiffin Simpson, and kill Mr. Stingray Robb, and then turn around in the Coca-Cola 600 in your own series that you've been in for God knows how many years and still been it.
You know, this is not on topic in the slightest, but I just have to say, why would you... Okay. People freaking hate when it rains during the Indy 500, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't freaking let them run it in the middle of tornado season in Tornado Alley.
Iowa. That was actually
never
beautiful.
Made sense to me.
Hey, man, sometimes it happens. I was always wondering, like, would there ever be a race that just gets snowed out in Russia?
What?
Would there ever be a race that got snowed out in Russia?
Would there be a what?
A race that gets snowed out in Russia. Is there such thing as a snow racing series? Or you'd have, like, a endurance championship and then the race just gets snowed out? True, but it's not like 15 cars competing on the track at the same time. Those dudes are crazy and the best drivers on the world. Hot take.
Not a hot take.
Fact.
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 But anyways, yeah. Kyle Larson sucks ass.
Buns. Straight buns. And we got to see that.
Dookie.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Dumber than a brick.
Yep. Doesn't have a brain. Has
The human skill issue.
Symbols for a brain.
The human skill issue.
Yes, very much so.
Yes. Yeah, and then there was just more craziness during and after. Quali 1, Herta made it one turn before losing it. That broke my heart. I definitely had my hands on my head after, like a lot of fans will react to that. That was disappointing. And then Scotty Mack suffered the same fate in between Quali 1 and Quali 2 during practice 3, I think it is. But, yeah, just functionally same bit, except without losing. He just ran wide and then flipped and went for a ride on his head. Not fun. Then I think to finish out most of the race on that, just lap traffic ruined it. Lap traffic basically impeded the leaders for the last couple laps. There was no way they couldn't pass it. There's no way they could pass. Ericsson pitted ahead of Pelot, and Ericsson was leading the 500, so it would have been his first time since 22, I think, winning the 500, and first time winning since that, if I'm correct. And he got way too comfortable behind the lap traffic, and Pelot jumped on him at the moment that he didn't expect, and then he furiously tried to go and recover and get that back to no avail, and he failed, and he couldn't get that back, and Pelot won. And then he gets disqualified in tech regs, and I think Herta also got disqualified in tech regs. So the Andretti boys got really clapped by tech shakedowns, especially after the attenuator issue. They started to pay a little bit more close attention to stuff like that. And, yeah, so even if Ericsson had won, he would have done all that, drank his milk just to get yoinked aside. Hey, congratulations. You're not winning anything, buddy. And Pelot still won, which marginally disappointing. At this point, this was still where Pelot was only winning everything, along with Kirkwood, of course. And yeah, and then after the race, Dale Coyne decided it had been such an egregious race that they fired multiple engineers from the team. I understand, because I think they didn't see any decent results and or crashed out on every one of their cars.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah. So I think my driver of the race is going to be Malukas. David Malukas, because that man was slicing, dicing, wheeling and dealing through that pack and made his way back up to the front as he's really starting to show that he is a quite dominant force and will continue to be a dominant force in the Penske car next year. Not officially yet, by the way. As of today, it's not official, but I'm going to call it from a country mile out because let's be honest, it's happening. But yeah, I'll be excited to see what he can do in that Penske. I just hope it's enough to overcome the man that is Pillow.
Yeah, I don't really have a driver for the race, mainly because I don't really watch Indy, but
yeah,
I'm going to say my driver of the race was Pillow. Boring choice, but credit where credit's due. He won the Indy 500. What was it? It was Ericsson that he passed on the 15 laps before the finish. I don't remember.
Yep.
But
yeah, it was Ericsson.
yeah, quite an unexpected move.
I think Ericsson didn't hit us this time. Yeah, but anyways, we're gonna move on to the next one, which I didn't watch much. Kieran, I think you watched some, but 24 Hours of Le Mans. Rabbi Kubica finally won. Kubica. Rabbi Kubica. Finally got his big moment in the spotlight and won with AF Corsa Scuderia. And yeah, his name is now in history as a winner in the hypercar class.
Yep. It's awesome to see him winning again. You know, him having a basically set in stone contract for Ferrari back before he had his horrific crash. That was heartbreaking, I'm not gonna lie, but at the end of the day,
Felt that.
at the end of the day, he got his lucky break. Not lucky break.
Redemption Day is upon us.
Yes.
Well deserved.
Point being, I'm glad he won in the Ferrari.
Undoubtedly, especially if that's where he was going to end up back before everything went down. I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily written in the stars, but definitely the redemption day that had been coming for a long time, because that man was a monster before his injury. Only just makes you wonder how good it could have been, but
Yeah.
I mean, we still got to see the class of a driver that he is in the 24 hours. So, and then the team that I typically root for, so Porsche Penske, number 6 car got disqualified from qualifying due to below the minimum weight. Rather disappointing, but it is what it is.
Yep. And also, can I say, this was also the first privateer to win Le Mans in a little while. I don't remember.
Like first non-main manufacturer team?
Yeah, like non-factory.
Okay, yeah, that kind of tracks, because wasn't it like Audi dominating, and then it goes to Porsche Penske, they're like the big team, and then, actual Scuderia Ferrari?
Yeah, so it was Audi, then Porsche, then Toyota, then, Ferrari.
How did I forget about the Toyota? They're like synonymous for winning that.
I'm gonna look this up.
Go for it. But yeah, that was
before AF Corsa, a privateer won Le Mans.
or maybe like a customer team would be another term for that.
When was the last time before AF Corsa that a privateer won the 24 hours of Le Mans?
Goofy.
Useless.
Yeah, they may have came out with Apple AI or whatever it is, but Siri is still dumb as hell.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Yep, moving on. So now we'll go over to the great world of Spain. I think, and I'm going to sidestep from Spain. I think we can both agree that driver of the day was going to be Kubica for 24 hours. Yeah. So I think that just has to be the given at this point. So I just wanted to go back and say that, but yeah, Spain. I am in Spain without the S. The wing flexion tests were more cracked down in this event to where they actually have integrated systems to test the flexion of rear and front wing units to prevent any basically free DRS in case someone decided to make a floppy wing. Floppy wing. So, yeah, that happened. That was a race. One of the races of all time. It is the race. The race where we saw garbage strategy. We saw engine go boom. We saw people go crash bang pow. And we saw Max channel his inner 2019 Max and go full terrorism.
We saw a very angry Max and a very angry George.
It's mildly understandable, honestly.
Yeah.
That race was something. Lando has been, I don't know, man. Lando's been given quite a bit of 2 stops or a stop longer than Piastri has for quite some time now, and has not had the race pace to make up for said extra stops. That's just going to be, that's not a take, that's not a hot take, that's not a belief, that is just a fact of life. So that's garbage. Antonelli went boom, bless you. Basically, yeah. Hulkenberg decided to overtake Hamilton and then outpace Hamilton for 6th, I believe it was. Hulk is off the perk, I guess. I don't know. Max went full terrorist mode after he pitted under safety car for a set of fresh hards and was confused as to why they gave him a fresh set of hards, which I don't blame him. I would have wanted a scrub set of softs or mediums, which I don't know if they had. He was very angry. Had a snap on the safety car restart. Leclerc got to overtake him and bump him midway through the straight. That just made him even more angry by some means. You can be 100% angry at max state, but he found another 20% to make that 120% angry max, and absolutely just sent George into the shadow realm for his own enjoyment. Oh yeah, I'm gonna let you buy. Guess what? Shoulder check, and that was peak angry max.
Yep. I wouldn't want to piss him off.
The angry Dutchman.
Dutchmen do get very angry.
Dutchmen do get big angry. That was mildly interesting. Mildly, yeah. Otherwise, the rest of the race felt like kind of a snooze fest. So, typical stuff. Who would you say is your driver of the day? I'm going to have to agree with you there, except I'm going to go for Hulkenback. Mr. Hulk is back, and P6 taking that position away from a Ferrari in a kick Sauber.
Yeah. My driver of the day, probably Hulkenberg too. He's been on it.
That man is a unit.
Absolutely on it.
That man is a unit.
On it.
Exactly, word for word, bar for bar. Next event is Indy, round 7 in good old Detroit. You know, can't have anything good in Detroit, and that's what they said to Ferrucci after he finished in second place. Failed tech inspections and lost 25 points from his tally count and fined a team, I believe it was $50,000. So, quite a big, hefty bit, but he was underweight. So, skill issue. The rest of the race was interesting. Colton Herta went on pole. Plenty of issues with other drivers, plenty of hits, you know. Scott McLaughlin decided to love tap Nolan Siegel, you know, Mr. Crash Siegel, who I think McLaren should replace for the next IndyCar season. But, you know, that's just a take.
You're like a feel like an actual seagull would be better at driving than the freaking
Nolan Seagull. You're not wrong. That's the worst part. I feel like you could train a monkey to drive a car in the way that Walter always said you could, and he'd drive better than Seagull could.
Yeah.
I don't understand how Seagull has a seat. I said that when he drove his small stint in place for either Teddy Porkchops or Callum Ilott last year, and I've said it almost every race this season. I don't understand how this kid has a seat. He is... Teddy Porkchops, yeah.
Teddy Porkchops.
Yeah, Theo Poucher. Theo Poucher. They called him Teddy Porkchops all the time. I really wish he had a seat, but
Yeah.
I think he's getting eyed up right now. I don't remember. I think he's getting eyed for something, but he deserves it. Kid's a unit. I think Teddy Porkchops should honestly take Seagull's spot full time because he is actually nailing it. But, you know, that's just a hot take from me. But, what are you f***ing looking at?
Just looking for a charger for it.
Do you need a charging port?
Huh?
Do you need a charging port? What are you at?
Halfway dead.
Oh, halfway dead? Okay. If anything, you can take over for my computer in a moment, because...
I mean, it might be good.
We might be good. Yeah, let's just keep sending it. Well, we're sharking, but... Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah. There were some big crashes. People making contact. Pit lane issues. It was a typical IndyCar race. Colton went from P1 down to, I don't remember where he finished, but it was mildly disappointing, but another day for the Andretti boys, unfortunately. So, yeah, Detroit was Detroit, as expected, and Ferrucci just got Detroited. So,
Can't have Detroit.
bingo. So, next one's Canada. Good old round 10 in the F1 calendar, Canada. And yeah, apparently there was a Gatorade partnership happening that weekend. I just marked it. I don't know. I saw something a couple weeks out from that where I was like, oh yeah, Gatorade's going to be like a title sponsor of the Canadian Grand Prix. It's like, cool. I don't care. At least it's not Prime. At least it's not Prime.
Yeah, oh, God, yeah.
Don't want to see
Better
that.
than Prime.
Bingo. Yeah, so that was... the race was something. There's a fantastic line from Isaac Hadjar when he got impeded on the qualifying lap, where he said, and I quote, "I thought Sainz was aborted." Not aborted the lap, but oh, is that funny? Thought Sainz was aborted.
That was incredible. I love that.
That caught me so off guard, but you know. English, I don't know. But
Yeah, not his first language.
basically, yeah. And then, yeah, Frenchman. But on the other side of the Williams garage, Albano's engine cover, decided to just, boom, goes the dynamite, and explode on the back straight. That was coolio. Think he got a penalty for that? I'm not sure.
I don't understand why the driver got the penalty for that.
It may have been a team reprimand. I swear I saw something, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm very uninformed on that. I just think that's what happened. I'm not sure. I don't know. But, yeah, Russell went and stole pole, and then Tonelli was balling out. The race was as expected, and then we just continued to see how bad Lando Norris is in Formula One, and just I feel like makes me want to push a point that he is a pay driver with a violently rich father who put in fantastic performances, yes, against his previous cars in previous years.
He's always been a pay driver.
Always has, always will be. And we're seeing that now when he's put up against a talent the caliber of Oscar Jack Piastri.
Yep.
And was so threatened by his existence that decided he tried to take him out. And in turn, took himself out of the race. That's not actually what happened. He just has so much self-awareness that he thinks going down the inside of a closing hole onto the grass is going to be a fantastic passing opportunity for him. And he eats tire, snatches his front wing, tastes grass, eats a part of the concrete on the wall, and then slides to a stop where, surprising to me, he accepted accountability for his actions. I'm still going to criticize him because how stupid do you have to be? That is driver 101, don't hit your teammate. Driver 102, don't go to a closing door.
Don't go for a gap that is freaking closing.
The only thing that was closing between Piastri and Lando was the opportunity for him to win the championship. The only thing that closed, the only opening that he saw was that title shot disappearing from him.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he would have been in the lead after that. Had it not.
That's okay. No, it's okay. That's my AC. It does that. It's not someone breaking in. My AC just thumps to a stop. It has to bump start. It's cool. Yeah, apartment stuff. But, yeah.
Don't go for a gap that doesn't exist. Otherwise, you might lose the championship.
See, I feel like if you go back and do like a luck adjustment kind of thing, you would have Lando within probably that same 7-point gap as before. On the contrary, Lando's also a moron who I swear has schizophrenia because he has to be seeing things that we don't if that's the kind of moves he's going to be making. Ignorant.
He needs to be put in a psych ward.
I was going to say needs to be put where he belongs in Daddy Stroll's car, but, you know.
That works too.
That works too. Just give car to Max Verstappen. Watch world burn. Yeah. So the race then ended under safety car, and we had Russell convert his pole to a win, something Lando still struggles to do. And we had Verstappen P2 and then Kimi Antonelli P3. So Kimi's very first podium in Formula One, and the first podium with no McLarens on it. Crazy. Pog. Oh. But, like, but, yeah, no, that was a way to end it. So, cool. Cool stuff.
That was very cool.
We got to see a side of Lando that shouldn't exist.
Yeah. That's driver 101. You don't forget what does exist.
Yeah.
Or hit your teammate.
Yep.
Unwritten rules.
Unwritten rules, but it's common sense.
Common freaking sense.
In the words. In the words of Clarkson. Oh, no. Anyways, so we're going to move on to the next Indy race, round 8 in the Illinois Oval in St. Louis. Good old St. Louis. Will Power got pole and then ate it. And engine go boom.
Boom.
Boom. And then Christian Rasmussen had a wicked fire when he's coming out of his pit stall. In pit lane, luckily him driving and going fast, air extinguished fire, and he kept going. But that was really cool to look at. Yeah, so yeah, Lundgaard had a really bad stop to where he'd be stopped outside of his pit box for a little while. That kind of messed up his race. Newgarden.
Guess you could say he was on fire.
Kill me! Oh God. Yeah. So, yeah. Newgarden got taken out. Newgarden got taken out. That was cool. I don't understand what I meant with that note at all. Newgarden takeout. I don't know, did he take out Chinese food or something like that? I don't understand what I mean by that note. Newgarden takeout. That doesn't make any sense. I have notes just because I don't remember everything. This is within 3 months I'm covering here, man. Give me some give me some room to breathe. But like Newgarden takeout is a fantastic note. And the other one I actually do understand, bad yellow deployment. Those stewards were on crack deploying the yellow and cautions. I think one driver literally brushed the wall and they threw a yellow and he was okay, continued and finished said race. So I think the stewards were a little bit trigger happy, which is the polar opposite of Formula One, where they'll be like, is he dying? He can last another 5 seconds. It's cool. Let the McLaren get close to the pit lane first. Let the Red Bull get out of the pit lane. Then we'll throw the caution. Got to help the McLaren boys. Anyways, British bias is a thing. That was something. Next event was round 9 of the Indy Series, Road America, one of my favorite tracks here in the U.S., it's fantastic. It's beautiful. I don't think Formula One cars could fit on it well, but, I mean, there's endurance racing on it at the same time, so maybe I'm contradicting by saying that, but Road America's a good track. Yes. Yeah, they have, like, I think 6 hours of Road America, if I'm correct. Dude, I want to also. And the fun thing is, did you know they actually have a go-kart track on the inside of the field layout? And if you buy a specific pass to go to their race there, one of the passes gives you unlimited access to the go-kart track inside of it. Yeah, I didn't know that. I was looking at tickets, yeah. Because otherwise you can do, I think it's like $15 for like 40 minutes driving on the go-kart track inside. And then if you buy a special pass, which I think is like $50, over the entire race weekend, you can race on the go-kart track as much as you want. $50. Infinite go-karting. Which also makes sense, because if you want to buy a ticket to the Indy race or the Endurance Series race, it's like $50 general admission.
Well, I know where my next vacation's going to be.
We're going to Wisconsin. I'm going home, baby. Yeah. I love Wisconsin. But, yeah, no. Road America is incredible. I didn't know they had a go-kart track until I started looking at tickets. And I'm like, oh, I need to do that. I want to do that. Go-karting in the middle of a race.
Is it like 2-stroke carts?
I think so. It's like it's a decently sized track layout. Well, also Road America is like decently large, but it's in the middle of the entire infield. It's in the middle of it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. But, Dixon was removed from round 2 of qualifying because he impeded someone. I think it was Ferrucci. Womp womp. He sucks anyways. Louis Foster, the rookie, got pole. That was insane. And then proceeded to lose pole. Malukas tagged turn 2 and was out of the race basically immediately. I don't even need to say who went on to win the race. We already know. Great track. Lots of chaos. Lots of willpower sending it down the inside near the back finish. And running people off track 2 times, which allowed Pelot to get by Newgarden and himself, basically handing him the lead and win of the race.
Free win.
Free win. God, I wish I could be handed a free win, but relatable. I just realized we completely brushed past driver of the race for the last few races. Detroit, the winner is Detroit.
Yeah.
Because Detroit runs all. And all realism, I'm going to give it to Kirkwood because he recovered from, I think, like P5 to first place in that, winning the race. So we're stepping back, by the way. But Detroit driver of the day, Kirkwood for me. Canada, I'm going to hand it to probably Kimmy, honestly.
Yeah,
first big podium.
I'm going to get
Because he went from P4 to P3 with Lando, eating it.
What?
He went from P4 to P3, so it wasn't that big of a jump. But, hey, first big podium, that's not bad. Oh, absolutely. Exactly.
I'm going to say Kimi.
Yeah, I'll join that. St. Louis.
I'm going to say the mayor of Kansas City.
Kansas City Barbecue. The winner is Kansas City Barbecue and the Kansas City Royals. So, I don't know. I don't remember.
St. Louis Barbecue does not exist. It's fake.
Jinx. But, yeah. Road America, I don't know. I'll give it to Foster. Foster, he held on well. I don't think he crashed out. I'll give it to Pelot. Pelot recovered and won the race. I don't want to, but I have to. It's just reasonable. Then we move on to an actual new topic now. Austria.
Strike.
Austria. That was something. I don't remember if this is the first year or second year that we have the gravel traps out of the last corner and on that final corner onto the front straightaway. But I definitely could not drive because of that, because I love using those extra off-track curbs. But yeah, Liam Lawson out-qualified Verstappen while Lawson was in the V-Carb compared to the Red Bull. Mind-boggling, but just showing of how garbage the Red Bull is this year. Lando had a half a second gap from pole, but all because Pierre Gasly decided to have a spin at the last corner, and, you know, kind of ruin everyone else's existing laps, and couldn't give him a nice of enough run to start a good final lap. So that kind of messed everything up.
Typical of Lando, luck.
Being gifted things and Lando Norris go hand in hand. Rich father handed Hungary, kind of, before he's forced to give it back. Hungary 24, by the way. Handed Russia 2021 before he threw it out of his own hands.
What a moron. I mean, it's raining. Why not switch to the freaking rain tires?
And I will preface, too, I was a massive Lando fan by that point.
Me too.
It was only when he started to have an insanely large ego and just being a shithead that I started to hate him. Mostly late 23, early 24, most through 24 into this year. Yeah, his arrogance is rubbed off quite bad on me.
Yeah.
So little gifted boy has been gifted that, and yeah, then maintained the win too. Pulled a win. Surprising he didn't choke for once. Usually he chokes. I'm surprised that man doesn't have like a 0.1% pole conversion rate, but surprising he converted. Wow. He broke the number of 0%. I think that was actually his first time he converted a pole to a win. I think that was genuine. I think that was genuinely his first conversion, actually, because he had like 12 other races before that had poles and no convert to a win.
Wow. Excuse me.
Yes. Yeah, and then Kimi crashed into Max, turn 3, and instantly
Torpedo.
he came in like a torpedo.
Yep.
Took Max out, both retired. That was unfortunate. And then I think the British media tried to take Max's radio of like stupid idiots and spin that against Kimi when he then was in favor and positively reinforcing Kimi, saying, you know, things happen on like interviews and stuff. The media loves to go against Max. It's actually like a mental... They need to be put in a mental institute. They have Max so far in their head.
They love to put Max in the negative spotlight. Was that a thing? A negative spotlight?
Possibly. I just know they have to get clicks, and they have to use the best man in motorsports to get said clicks. So, well, he won't be the best. Well, I was going to say he won't be the best man in motorsports this year, but let's be honest, he's still dragging that hunk of garbage up to places it shouldn't be, so he's still a very good driver. Just Piastri's probably going to walk home with that title this year, so I'm calling it. But, yeah, got taken out. That was unfortunate, and then he was speaking in favor and helping Kimi in interviews, but they still spun it against him. So, you know, British media sucks. I hate you, British media. I'll proudly say that. The British media needs to suck an egg.
Hey, British media.
I was going to do the same thing. I was going to go, hey, British media, fuck you. We're only doing that good media that actually is non-biased and impartial, like the rest of media should be. I'm not going to get into that. Anyways, yeah, we're not going that deep. Piastri almost slammed into Lando, locking up into turn 4. That was... a mild heart attack, and then he did it again in Hungary. We'll get into that in a moment. Sainz stalled on the grid before the race even started, and then had a fire in pit lane and couldn't even start the race. So that was Williams' moment. So, Williams moment. Some real, this is a certified Williams 2020 moment right here.
Certified Williams blunder.
Certified Williams Hood Classic. And then also in a certified Hood Classic, Colapinto having zero spatial awareness and forcing Piastri off the track when he was trying to fight Tsunoda and not looking where the hell he was driving. Traditions.
Jack Doohan was shafted.
He deserved longer. Jack Doohan deserved to keep that seat longer. I mean, technically, someone was going to replace Colapinto, but they didn't. Someone was going to be set to replace Colapinto, but he didn't. Two he's actually. Two guys were set to replace, and they declined. Probably because they don't want to drive that garbage box of an Alpine, so it makes sense. Yeah, so. And with that, that is all part 1 has of Race Debrief 3. I have been your host for this very marginally short episode, which will hopefully be a lot quicker and easier to get out of it. So, yeah, we're trying to go shorter on episodes. We'll see how this goes.
Might be a struggle.
Might be a struggle at first. Once we get 3 months of race debriefs and news under control, it'll be a whole lot easier. So, yeah. So, we'll see you guys here in part 2. In the time that I'm recording it, within 5 minutes. In the time that I post the 2 videos, hopefully not longer than like 2 weeks. So, you never know with me. I'm a busy guy. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us on part 1. We will see you guys in part 2, where we continue on from Silverstone forwards. Thank you for joining us in pit lane. We'll see you guys shortly. Later.